Alright, today we finish Demonfear. So good, it's all set up. As I mentioned last time, these were made a little bit later than the other Demonfear maps, about 4 years later. So you will see a slight evolution of things. Straight away though, we've got my old favourite, the pattern-based secret, Gargoyle Head as opposed to Satyr Head. Doesn't help us right now, but that's a secret. And you may also notice, I mean, there are curves. There weren't a lot of curves in the first 27 maps we played through. Honestly, not a lot of curves. Partly the change came about because, honestly, it became easier to X and Y align. So, you know, don't underestimate just the factor that it was easier to actually do things, leading me to, you know, take a new approach. Because yeah, back in '95 when I was making stuff, you had to like hand align your textures. That looks like a secret. I'll trigger it though. I don't want to obviously pick that up just yet. You had to hand align all your textures, so it was a bit more effort to do so. So I'm going to ignore this guy for a little while, and the reason I'm going to ignore this guy for a little while as I wander around is because I want to mention that this is going to make use of a motif that I had used in the past. I think if I go down here and shoot him, it won't actually do it. I'll show it later. So in, I think it was the first map of Talons / T-Beast, depending on which version you play, but play T-Beast because it's a better, improved version. I used the idea of Carcademons coming over a fence. I also used something similar in Requiem. I still wonder if I go up here, will they actually spot me? No. I will get some tiling though of the ceiling, which is not so good. So yeah, so I'll wake them up now because you know, I don't want to actually skip them, but you can, by abusing by abusing sound block lines there, you can actually prevent them from ever actually hearing you. And it's not like it's not like it's a carcass swarm. It's, you know, it's a carcass couple, not a large group. There is a secret to lower that and give you the chain gun. Do you think I can remember what it is? Though probably not is the answer. There is some way though of lowering that. And getting outside to earlier where we saw the exterior there. A-la-di-di-di. So you can see, I mean, a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit, you know, not massively sophisticated, but a little bit more sophistication of lights, more use of curves. I feel like there's more use of texture variation as well. You know, the green and the green brick versus the regular brick. That sort of thing. Yeah. Do not recall how to access the secrets, mind you. Which is interesting. Oh well, don't need them. So we will move on. This is the first map of the maps made in 1999. It's called Detour, because it was taking a detour through a less trafficked part of hell. You know, that's why at the end of map 25 there's like this explosion. The idea there's a malfunction of the teleporter and you get sent off track, which was my in-game justification for why map 26 would be, you know, as I said, it's the first map of a set of 5, therefore I tend to make them slightly easier. And my in-game justification for why it was slightly easier was, yeah, a teleport malfunction had sent you somewhere that you weren't intended to go, and that had been forgotten even by the demons. That I think you can probably see the visual design is a bit more sophisticated than the early maps. You know, there's more use of angled things, there's more use of light levels to a certain extent, more diversity of textures, more of this kind of detailing. And insets that just didn't happen in earlier, you know, like I probably would, in an early level I probably never would have put in even an insert like that, or the 3 different flanking images on each side there, the different faces, you know, just a bit more experienced, a bit more familiar with making Doom maps. Sneaky little, not a secret, but you know, obviously a thing you want to find, even if it's not technically a secret, just there. If you don't have an SSG, obviously you're going to want that. Yeah, just a bit more detail overall. I didn't need to leap down, there is actually a run up, there you go. I'm not going to grab that blue armour just yet, in case, because I'm at 160 odd health, 160 odd armour anyway. But yeah, all of these rivulets of bloods that are running through the map and which actually do hook up to one another if you go all the way across the map. You know, that sort of detail. Variety of textures. More organic. Varied terrain. Layouts. It's just all, you know, just a different kind of level of work, I feel. And speaking of level of work, let's clear out some of the carcass swarm. With the rocket launcher because it'll be quicker. Apologies for my quick rush back here just to grab that. Bit of a diversion there. Yeah, and so that's the kind of intimate, this is the red. Red door. That little red inset there, that's what that's intimating. Well, that guy didn't want to come out, did he? He can, I think. On UV, pretty sure it's an archvile instead. If it's not, then that is. One of them is, anyway. And a whole bunch of hit scanners to welcome you back. Which may well whittle off some health for you. And in the meantime, this has opened. Now, frankly, there's no actual necessary reason to fight these guys. Pretty easy to... Oh, really? That was very frustrating. As I was saying, very easy to ignore those guys in the longer run. I'd forgotten all about that archvile though, that was a nasty surprise for me. But in the longer run it is quite easy to ignore those guys if you want to. Try to remember, was the blue armour this way? I think it was. Yep. I remember where the blue armour was, go and grab it. And head on to the next. Yeah, there was a secret somewhere that I didn't find. Not sure where. So this is a subterranean cavern level. I mean, I never did a cavern level in the original run of Demonfear maps. Organic structures. Much harder to X-align than the regular shapes of buildings. That was bad, wasn't it? Yeah, so much harder to X-align, so tended to do much more in the way of right-angled buildings, working a lot to the 64 block because I was mapping off 64 grid paper where each square of the grid paper was a 64 square. With these maps I wasn't doing that, I was doing these straight into the editor instead. And I think that also probably contributes to the more organic looking layouts that we see here. Up here to grab that, and there's a leap here. That looks like a secret. It is. Different textured wall. That also looks like a secret. It is. And you might be thinking, what was the point of that? Well, the point of that was actually for down here. I think I'm gonna... God, die already! No, alright. Well, that didn't go so well. Let's... Oh, I don't have a lot of that either. Yeah, let's do this. Ignoring that... Ignoring that chain gunner did not work out. But there is still value in obviously grabbing a rad suit. Oh, so yeah, there are two different lifts down. How's this released? Lots and lots of... Yep, here they come. Lots of barons. Stuck on the wall there, not the brightest of moves. Want these guys to clump up as much as possible, makes them easier to dodge and lets us obviously get nicely dodged right into fireball there. Pretty sloppy shooting there. Fortunately, heaps of ammo down here, and a fair bit of health too. And you can just jump across. There's no no kind of restriction preventing that. Probably easiest, obviously, if you use the pillars as a boost, but you can strafe run anyway, even if you don't do that. Pick up all of those. Just in case you haven't yet had enough Barons, here's a few more. So one other thing that I'll mention quickly, for instance, so that big pile, the fact that those barons didn't come forward, and the fact that there is a big pile of goo there on the floor, and if you look very closely at the ceiling, the fact that there is a thin ledge that you can also see on here is a hint that there is a crusher there, so that you don't get smashed by it. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to get squished. Missed a secret somewhere. Don't recall which one it is. I don't actually recall this map much at all, so this will be interesting. See what we're actually up against. But I mean, again, little details like that cross, you would never have seen that in the original Demonfear, most likely. This sort of thing you would have done, but not the cross. And you know, there's a little curve in the fence there, which you wouldn't have seen. All right, yes, okay, I do remember this map. This is another of the larger maps in terms of its sheer physical area, though unlike in the past, as I said, I wasn't specifically doing this is a 2 sheets of paper map rather than a 1 sheet of paper map, because I wasn't using sheets of paper to map these. I think I also had a slightly better idea about how teleporting works too, so I believe that the teleport traps on this map, and there are, if I recall, there is one, are a bit more effective in terms of actually getting the monsters out and wrecking your day. Is that actually the first BFG? Because I don't have one anyway. Oh. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, maybe I just missed one earlier. So one thing that is a little bit different here too is obviously there's not really a lot of places to go here. Like, that's a dead end right now because you don't have the key, so you do have to come out here. And as you can hear, we've got some mancubi. That's a secret too. That secret wasn't quite as bad as it kind of looked. Because there were more than one item in each pack. I do that a fair bit with those 1-point power-ups that I'll put several of them together. So that there's more bang than there appears to be. Ah! That wasn't so good. Come out here, nice big wide open space, lots of ammo. What could possibly go wrong? This doesn't look suspicious at all, does it? So I wonder if I inadvertently just want to make sure that I didn't, it's been a long time since I played these, don't want to inadvertently break a teleporter, so just make sure that any monsters have definitely woken up out there. I haven't accidentally leveraged a monster sound block lines. I don't think I have, but I was just double checking. You can see there, they're getting blocked by objects lying on the ground. There was, I don't know if you saw, there was a light at ground level there, which is why I spotted that there was a secret. Come in here and the lights come on. It's kind of a reverse of what you normally expect with Doom, where you go into a room and the lights go off. This time you go in, the lights come on. Red door here, which we don't have a key for yet, obviously. However, we do have a teleporter. So, as you might imagine, that is going to be taking us to get that particular treat. Now, spoiler, it's also going to introduce us to an unpleasant companion. As you may be able to hear. Well, hello. Now there's actually, as you can see, pretty much no reason to actually worry about him. He can be left to merrily slaughter bad guys for me through there for a while. Nope. He got closer faster than expected. So I had actually expected that I'd be able to race back here, and he would follow me. As it turns out, he decided to come earlier than expected. So that's the thing that happened. Woohoo! So I'm going to ignore him just because I can at this point. Haha. That was a little bit, you know, so you can kind of skip those monsters, you can fight them, it really comes down to your personal preference and playstyle. Oh, there's a fairly obvious misalignment there, Adam, that you never picked up on before. Same again there. Pretty ordinary, I don't know. Man, how did I miss that? Anyway, I did. And then, you know, a neat little, with a surprise in the back here. You know, just to reward people who look around fairly closely. And that, I believe, yep, will bring us to the final map. Of Demonfear, which in the normal, you know, style of such maps, oh, that's not good. Oh, I never found that, did I? Okay. Quite frustrating that the first thing it decided to give me there he goes. It's quite frustrating that the first thing it decided to give me was a archvile though, because there's not a lot of cover there. But that is the final map. That is Demonfear finished. I didn't even kill all of the original list loadout of monsters. In just under 2 hours. There you go. So that was the whole thing. I hope you enjoyed it. I still can't believe the Mega WAD Club picked it to play, mind you. But they did, and I finished the map in under a minute. Great. So there you go. Thanks for watching. And maybe I'll do this again sometime in the future with other people's levels. You never know.